the lack of diversity in football at unruling bodies and a systematic and institutional level, is this a football problem, Fern?
Yeah, I think, it's really important that we look into it. And I think, there was loads of discussions on the back end of last year about the visibility, the lack of diversity within not only the boards, within the executive pathways, the coaching, but also the players as well. Like the players on the pitch, I think it's very different in the men's game compared to the women's game. I think it's something like 10 to 15% of females who are playing at the elite top level are of, ethnic diverse backgrounds. And that's a very low number. And, for me as a player, it is very visible as a player. So, for anyone looking to come into the game or anyone thinking that they can make a real change within the game, it's not actually there to start off with in the first place. That there isn't, this diversity goes deep rooted that actually, you're saying about other sports as well. I think you're looking across like rugby, tennis, cycling. I think across all of them, they only had one black board member across all of the sports. And, they were held to account last year as to why that was. But I think it starts, in the background, it starts further behind that rather than just the players being the ones who have got to be making the charge and making the change, as Lewis just said. It has to come from, deeper and rooted within the organisations that we're talking about.
Yes, that's totally right. We need to have the support, whatever the sport we are involved in. Without the support of the organization, the club, whoever is like above you, they need to back you up because they all need to be involved and all have the same kind of like, not radical action, but like organization to push and to have like a very, let's say, yes, like well thought process. And this needs to be explained properly to actually like go with the actual youngsters. So education needs to go down then with all the actual tool being really well thought, as I said. It's very important and constantly helped by the media. So everyone needs to actually get behind this, because if the media are just like saying, oh yes, I'm going to do an article one day and then they forget about it in 2 or 3 months, you have zero impact. Yes, they have put some kind of pages, but it's not enough. And it's the same for organization. It's not enough to do just a campaign for a month or 2. It's not enough. It's like it needs to be consistent. It needs to be radical in terms of like punishment. It needs to be like kind of like action that makes sense, that's going to create the changes, whatever inclusion, and making sure that there is diversity in every level of organization. It's very important.